Hello everyone, it's Jen, Scrapbena Creations. I'm so excited to be a part of this hop today where we are featuring Canadian crafty YouTubers as well as shops and magazines and just all things Canadian. So here's a quick look at the 6 cards that I'll be making today. I teamed up with the Canadian store called Scrapnstamp, and they sent me these lovely products to play with. So I received the Distress Oxide in Salvaged Patina, this sweet little Avery Elle stamp called Maple Syrup with the beaver, and the illustrator for that stamp set was in fact Canadian. And then I'm going to be playing mostly with the O Canada collection by Photoplay. Now I have some from the first collection that they released and then the O Canada #2. So that stamp set is really sweet with the moose and the beaver, and it has the quintessential Canadian A in it as well as Happy Canada Day. I also received the Ephemera pack and then the 12 by 12 collection, which has some beautiful papers, which I'm going to show you here, as well as a 12 by 12 sticker sheet and then a sheet of cut aparts as well. So I'm just showing you the A sides and then the back sides of the different designs. So I will leave a link to all these products from Scrapnstamp, and you can see here these papers are so much fun with all the Canadian themed icons. I love that little cut apart that says sorry multiple times. We Canadians are definitely known for saying sorry as well as hey. So you're going to see that I'm going to use that sentiment or word, I guess, quite a bit. So I'm just going to show you here, before jumping into the card making, all of the ephemera that comes in the die cut piece or the die cut collection that I received. And here we're going to start with the first card, and I will tell you a little bit about this hop in a second. So I'm using MFT sketch number 399, and I've gone ahead and I have cut out all of my pieces, colored my images. If you're new to my channel, I typically like to include the coloring. I really love my alcohol markers. I have Copic markers and OHUHU Brush Tip Markers. And so I often leave that in, but because we didn't want to have these videos too long for the hop, I did color these sitting on the couch watching TV one night. So I started off with this maple syrup design paper. It was my absolute favorite. You don't have to be Canadian to love maple syrup. And then I added the strip of the maple leaf down the center. I also really loved this plaid paper, so I use it on a few of the cards, but I'm just cutting out a circle and then backing that on some of the cardstock. I forgot to mention in the showing of the products that I did get a pack of Lawn Fawn cardstock. There was a lot of black in this collection, and I thought it would just go well with the cards that I was going to make. So here's this super cute beaver holding the maple syrup from the Avery Elle stamp set, and then I use the sentiment "Yours sweet as maple syrup" from the same stamp set. Now for this one, I'm just going to go ahead and glue everything down. No foam tape, but I will bring in some foam tape in some of the other cards. So I get him in place. I'm just going to use my white gel pen here to add a little bit of highlights on the maple syrup bottle, as well as his little nose there. And then I'll show you the card sketch beside that, just so you can see how closely I followed that card sketch. So here we are on to card number 2, and I'm using the sketch from MFT as well. This is number 347. This cute little bear is ice fishing. I love all of the different critters on this pattern paper doing winter sports. So although this is a Canadian paper collection, it's not all about Canada. So you can see here, this is just a very much winter themed pattern paper. I'm using some of the striped paper as a border towards the bottom to just break up that pattern paper to the back. And then from the sticker sheet from the 12 by 12 collection, I'm using that little ice fishing bear who was having so much fun ice fishing, he forgot it was someone's birthday. So I'm using the sentiment, "Oops, I missed your birthday," and that is from a Doodlebug happy birthday stamp set. It has a bunch of different birthday related sentiments and I really love it. So here's where I'm going to use a little bit of that Salvaged Patina, and this is my first time using it and it is gorgeous. So I'm just going to stick that on. I'm going to add my arched or semicircle here. This is a die from Sunny Studio, and then I will add that to my card. But let me tell you a little bit about this hop. So there are over 40 individual prizes thanks to all of the companies that sponsored this hop, with a grand total of over $1,300 worth of crafty products. How amazing is that? And the grand prize is from Scrapbook and Cards Today and is worth $150. So there's a full list over on Emily's blog. She organized everything. Big thanks to her. These are not easy to organize. I will leave a link to her blog post in the description box below. You can find all of the prizes there, the Canadian companies, and many of these companies ship to the US and international as well. And also a whole bunch of them are offering some discount codes for you to go shopping. So go over and visit Emily's blog, and I'll come back to how you can win after I talk about card number 3 a little bit here. So for this card, I am using that gorgeous plaid pattern paper. I'm backing the maple leaf paper with some of the Lawn Fawn cardstock, and you can see there was a chunk missing, but I was just showing you that it's not going to make a difference because, as you can see, with it being on the card, that the sides go straight to the end of the card. So it's a good way to use up your imperfect pieces of cardstock that are left over. So all of my cards today are American Standard size 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I added this little moose. Is he not the cutest little guy? And I'm just adding some gel detail to his nose and his eyes, and stamped Happy Canada Day on a stitched oval, just cut out of some white cardstock. I felt like it needed to have a bit of white in there to balance out all those colors. And then we're on to card number 4, and I'm using the Sketch 306 from MFT with this adorable little beaver who kind of looks like he's up to something. He looks a little bit mischievous in my opinion. So I'm using this polka dot. It kind of reminds me of snow. It's not really polka dot. It's splattered white on some kind of that tealy greeny color there. And then this pattern paper that has the word A all over it really cracked me up. So I'm going to have that as a strip coming down the left hand side of the card. I'm going to go ahead and add the beaver. I popped him up and the speech bubbles that say A and Happy Canada Day on some foam tape. And now I just want to talk a little bit about how you can enter to win the prizes. So you need to leave a comment on my video for your chance to win. And then you'll want to click the link in the description box for the next person on the hop. But when you comment, please indicate if you're in Canada or elsewhere in your comments, as a few of the prizes are restricted to Canadian addresses, but for the most part, the prizes are open to US and international fans. So we're all just spreading the love for Canadian designers and Canadian companies today, and you all get to be a part of it. So the more you comment, the greater the chances you have of winning. So enjoy the hop and be sure to say hello to everyone along the hop. So there's a look at the finished card for card number 4, and we're moving on to card number 5. I had to use that little beaver again, snuggling with his maple syrup. I'm using the Icon pattern paper. This has a lot of black in it, so I decided to on to some white cardstock, and then I'm using that strip of striped pattern paper here, again backing it onto some white cardstock just to break that up a little bit. And then I'm going to have my little beaver on a stitched oval, and then I'm going to use the banner that says Happy Canada Day. Now I am going to trim that up. It's a bit too long for my card, but no worries. I just add my own little fishtail to the end of the banner and it works perfectly. So if you are a previous watcher of mine, you will know that I have been missing in action now for about 3 weeks. I moved. I'm trying to get set up in my new craft space. You may notice that there's an echo on the voiceover. I'm in where my craft room is going to be, and it's very empty, so it is echoey. But I'm happy to be back. This is the longest break I think I've ever taken from YouTube. I've missed you all, and thank you to those of you who sent a message just checking in on me. I'm good. It's just been really busy, as you can imagine. So I need to do some painting in the craft room, and I'm waiting for some furniture from IKEA to arrive. I downsized, so I sold a lot of my furniture in my previous home, but now everything will fit my space perfectly. So I'm really excited to be back, and thank you all for joining me today. I missed you all. So here's a close look at card number 5, and then we're going to move on to card number 6, which I'm using MFT's sketch 398. So I've never used this sketch before, and I wasn't quite sure because there's 2 circles, and with the rule of thirds, it's always being said that everything looks better in 3 to the human eye. So I wasn't sure how this was going to pan out, but I actually end up really liking this sketch. So this is all about the Canadian toque, and if you don't know anyone from Canada, you may not know that we call these hats toques, and they are sometimes called beanies. I'd love to know what you call them, where you are from, but this is just kind of screams Canadian winter. So I went ahead and used 2 of the little hat circles here. This was from the die cut pack, and I'm going to back them on some white cardstock. Now, you'll notice this hat here has a lot of white space, so I didn't want to put that over top of all that white from the border and the white cardstock underneath it. So I'm choosing to add the one here surrounded by the yellow and then that striped color, and you can see it really stands out a lot better on all of that white. So just a little tip there in terms of placement. Now for this, I decided to use a happy birthday sentiment. This is from the Doodlebug stamp set that I used earlier. Just die cut that out on a fishtail banner from, I think that's an MFT die set. And there's a look at the card and the sketch. So I'm going to slow this down now, and I'm going to show you all of the 6 cards. Do let me know if you had a favorite card. Thank you again to Scrapnstamp for letting me play with some of their fun products from their store. Don't forget to check them out, as well as all of the sponsors that you can see here on the screen. Thank you for celebrating us Canadian creators, and I'll see you really soon in the next one. Take care, everyone. Have a great day. Don't forget, the person who is after me is in the description box below. Happy hopping. Bye.